WRLD.com podcast.
Good afternoon and welcome to another InvestorIdeas.com podcast looking at cannabis news, stocks to watch, as well as insights from thought leaders and experts. Today we're looking at announcements from AGRA Organics International Incorporated, trading on the CSE as AGRA and the OTC as PUFXF. ICC International Cannabis Corporation, trading on the CSE as WRLD.U and the OTC as WLDCF. THC Biomed, trading on the CSE as THC. MYM Nutraceuticals Incorporated, trading on the CSE as MYM and the OTCQB as MYMMF. And KHRN Life Sciences Corporation, trading on the TSX Venture as KHRN and the OTCQB as KHRNF. First, looking at AGRA Organics International Incorporated, a growth-oriented and diversified international cannabis company, and ICC International Cannabis Corporation, who have both entered into an agreement whereby AGRA will transfer its portfolio of exotic native Colombian cannabis genetics to ICC for international marketing and distribution purposes. In May of 2018, AGRA formed a wholly owned subsidiary, Pure Grow Medicinals SAS, to pursue cannabis cultivation and genetic opportunities in Colombia. Pure Grow has since been working in concert with Cannabis Cup winner whose strain Medellin Gold has received industry accolade and has since formation acquired a select library of rare and exotic cannabis seed varietals from various regions in the country. This partnership further equips international cannabis with the ability to provide highly coveted Colombian cannabis flower to its global distribution network of approximately 39,000 pharmacies and retail outlets, said Eugene Buchman, Chief Executive Officer and a Director of International Cannabis. The transfer of these native Colombian strains will also allow for the conference differentiation of the international cannabis brand in an increasingly generic and homogenized market. Next, looking at THC Biomed International Limited, who announced it's received Health Canada permission to commence cannabis production in 2 additional strata lots at the THC Biomed's flagship location in Kelowna, BC. The newly licensed strata lots will allow THC to begin automation of its systems, allowing more efficient production while increasing margins. THC now has 11 strata lots licensed for production. 3 additional strata lots are being submitted for review with Health Canada, while a further 3 strata lots are currently under construction. While scale is essential in the development of a conglomerate, we need to properly assess the margins. We're streamlining systems to ensure quality is maintained while focusing on long-term prosperity and viability, commented THC's Chief Financial Officer Hee Young Chung. Next, looking at MYM Nutraceuticals Incorporated, who announced it's entered into a memorandum of understanding with Aqueous Sciences of Nevada, a wholly owned subsidiary of the One World Ventures Incorporated, trading on the OTC as OWVI, to grow 3,000 acres of hemp across Navajo Nation land, located near the Four Corners area of Colorado, Arizona, Utah, and New Mexico in the U.S. MYM and Aqueous will incorporate a new company for the purpose of cultivating, extracting, and distributing hemp on 3,000 acres of New Mexico. Aqueous is the sole exclusive agent for the Navajo Nation, managing companies that wish to cultivate hemp on the Navajo Nation land. MYM and Aqueous will work on an exclusive basis and will each earn out 50% of the new company. MYM and Aqueous plan to extend their activities to include extraction, manufacturing, and distribution of hemp-based products that will comply with Navajo Nation, USDA, FDA, and FTC regulations and requirements. With the recent passing of the Farm Bill in the U.S., CBD-rich hemp is removed from the classifying drug list, opening the door for farmers to legally grow hemp, said Howard Steinberg, CEO of MYM. Our partnership with Aqueous is in keeping with that new strategic plan to become a global leader in the cultivation, extraction, and distribution of hemp and CBD in bulk, and for use in our own unique branded products. Lastly, looking at KHRN Life Sciences Corporation, an integrated medical cannabis company with its core operations in Latin America, announced today that it signed a definitive agreement for the acquisition of Netagrowth International Incorporated, as previously announced on January 25th of 2019. Netagrowth will, at the time of the closing of the acquisition, own all the outstanding shares of Dormal S.A., a Uruguayan company that was obtaining the first license to produce and export medical cannabis with THC for commercialization in Uruguay. As consideration for the acquisition of Netagrowth, on closing, KHRN will issue 8,400,000 shares of the shareholders of Netagrowth at a deemed price of $1.61 per common share. Alvaro Torres, CEO of KHRN, comments, "This acquisition adds considerable capacity and product diversity potential to the KHRN portfolio of assets. As the first country to legalize cannabis for adult use purposes, these Uruguayan licenses provide us the opportunity to address a broader demographic of consumers and export products to key regions of the world. Compared to the extract-only medical market of Colombia, the Uruguayan regulations permit the domestic and international distribution of flower. This is an excellent complement to the product's focus of Colombia. I would like to thank all the individuals involved in finalizing this definitive agreement and look forward to moving this transaction to close. Uruguay was the first country to establish legalization for cannabis, and Dormal has secured a medical cannabis cultivation and commercialization license for the jurisdiction with a cultivation capacity up to 120 tons and 170,000 plants. In addition, Dormal has an application pending for an extraction license. Upon receipt, Dormal is expected to become the first company in Uruguay to be approved for medical cannabis-based CBD oils for both domestic and export purposes. With a strong commitment to the research and development, Dormal has established a strategic partnership with the prestigious Institut Pasteur de Montevideo, a prestigious foundation formed between the Uruguayan and French governments focused on the research and development of cannabis product. The foundation was recently reorganized by the Uruguayan Ministry of Industry for the important social and economic impact its operations are anticipated to have for the country.
That's all for today's podcast. Podcast is now a certified word trademark on the blockchain through Cognate Incorporated CM certification. InvestorIdeas.com podcasts are also available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and TuneIn. If you'd like to be a guest or sponsor of this podcast, please contact InvestorIdeas.com. Investor Ideas reminds all listeners to read our disclaimers and disclosures on the InvestorIdeas.com website, and this podcast is not an endorsement to buy products or services or securities. Investors are reminded that all investments involve risk and possible loss of investment. Investor Ideas does not condone the use of cannabis except where permissible by law. Our site does not possess, distribute, or sell cannabis products.